Hey guys, it's been a while, but I am back with another makeup tutorial to start off the spooky season. This is a spider girl look inspired by Ashley Solida, so if you guys want to find out how to achieve this look, then please continue watching. It's been a while since I've applied makeup on this face, but as always, we are starting off with MAC's Soft Ochre Paint Pot. Use any eye primer that you'd like, and I'm going to be taking a dense eye brush from Real Techniques to pack that onto the lid until I've reached full coverage. Once you see the difference in shades on your eye, then that's when I like to stop. Taking Laura Mercier's translucent powder and a dense eye brush, I'm going to be packing that onto the lid, exactly where we applied the paint pot. This is just going to ensure that all of the eyeshadows that we applied will be blended a lot easier. Taking Berry Mousse, which is a light coffee color from Juvia's Place Douce palette, I'm applying that into my crease as well as all over the lid, making sure to blend with windshield wiper motions along the way. Now with a smaller, fluffier, and pointier brush, I'm using Burkina, a warm chocolate shade from Juvia's Place Masquerade palette, and concentrating that right into the fold of my crease to create a little bit more depth. Afterwards, I also went ahead and blended that onto my entire lid. With the same brush, I'm taking Fulani, a milk chocolate color from the same palette, and blending that into the same area. So fold of crease and all over the lid. I know this may seem a bit much, but I love working in layers for a smoky eye in order to get it super blended out. With a clean, large, fluffy eye brush, I am blending all of those colors together. Now using Chocolat, a dark chocolate shade from the Douce palette, with a MAC 217 brush, I'm packing that onto the outer V and crease of my eye and gradually blending it in all over my lid. With the same clean, large, fluffy eye brush, we are blending all of those colors out. So this is what we have so far. From the Morphe 35B palette, I'm taking the black eyeshadow on a packer brush and packing that all over my lid. If you guys have a better black eyeshadow than this, then please use it because this was very difficult to work with. It's definitely not one of my favorite black eyeshadows, but you know, I had to make it work. So I just packed that all over my lid, and also with the MAC 217 brush, I went in with a little bit onto the crease. But again, with black, you have to be very careful and just work in layers. You don't want to pack on too much because then it can get very muddy very quickly. I took a gunmetal shade that for some reason I lost a clip of from the Juvia's Place palette, and with a damp brush I applied that all over my lid. At first I wanted to apply it just in the center, which is why I had such a small brush to begin with. Now taking NYX's Face and Body Glitter, this is in 12, it's kind of like a gunmetal shade as well. I'm applying that and packing that onto the lid with no glitter glue whatsoever because I kind of wanted it to be just a touch of glitter and not, you know, packed on. So I'm taking the Morphe 35B once again and mixing a white shade with a light coffee shade together just to get the perfect brow bone highlight shade, and I am just packing that onto the brow bone. And what I like to do is pack it on first and then I blend it out because I just feel like I get the maximum payoff. Taking Smashbox Always Gel Liner, that for some reason it came out of focus right now. I got a new lens, so I've been playing around with it. I apologize. And this is a jet black eyeliner that lasts forever. It's super good. I'm applying that onto the tight line and waterline of my eye, just to get the eyes super black. If you're afraid of tight lining, then just apply it onto your waterline first and squeeze your eyes shut and it'll transfer over. Taking Clinique's Lash Power Flutter to Full Mascara, I'm using the fuller side, the more voluminous side, and I'm going to be applying that onto my lashes. Just the top ones for now. This is me trying to show you how long my lashes look with that mascara. Using NYX's First Base Primer Spray, I'm applying that, of course, before I apply my foundation, concealer, and all that jazz. Taking MAC Strobe Cream on a fluffy brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics, I am packing that onto my face. I just love the effect this gives me. It makes your skin look super gluey. I meant to say dewy and I ended up mixing it with glowy. Okay, you guys know what I mean. Using Lancome's Skin Feels Good foundation. This is one of my favorites now. I can finally use it now that my skin is a little bit lighter. On that same brush, I am buffing that into my skin. And again, another very dewy foundation. And it feels good on the skin too, because I don't like anything that makes it look cakey or feel cakey at all. So a winner in my book. Kat Von D's Lock It Concealer in L9. One of my favorites. I have to go get a new one because I am running out. I'm just applying that onto the forehead, in between my brows, under my eyes, right in the inner corners of my eyes, nose bridge, nose tip, around the nose, around the lips, chin, and under the lips as well. And I am just blending that out with a pointed, dense brush. And yeah, that's pretty much all I did for the face. I had to speed this up for you guys because it's a long process, but pretty much I like to tap it into the skin, all while also spreading it outwards a little bit just to get the perfect blend between the foundation and the concealer. And the reason I put on so much is because when we do a smoky eye, I always like to make sure that the skin is a little bit more full coverage, because anything else that's coming up in the skin might contrast and look a little bit weird with the dark eyes. Taking my massive beauty sponge, I'm going to be plopping that all over my face just to make sure everything is blended out and looks very nice and seamless. Using Laura Mercier's translucent powder on a pointed face brush from Morphe, I am going to be packing that onto the under eyes and blending it all out. This is another technique that I like to do with my powder. I just feel like it makes everything look a lot more blended and a lot more easier to apply as well. After finishing my powder, I always apply another layer of spray just to set it all out and make it look natural. Using NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Ash Brown, I'm going to be filling in my brows. If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial of this, I will surely bring it to you. Just let me know down below in the comments and leave a thumbs up. What I like to do pretty much is line the bottom of my brows, and once I do that, I like to line the top, and then I just connect both the lines and fill it in. With a small dense smudger brush, I am taking some e.l.f. bronzer and packing that onto the lower lash line. Then I took Isafa from the Festival palette by Juvia's Place and put that right on top of the bronzer. I just love the look of this warm red shade, and I feel like it tied everything together. And with that large fluffy crease brush, I applied that into the crease a little bit up towards my brow bone and just blended all of that out. Now with a smaller flat brush, I'm taking the same black eyeshadow and just packing that on top of the bronzer and Isafa and just blending all the shades together so we have a seamless smoky eye look. Using that same mascara, I'm applying that to the lower lashes now. Now taking only from the same Juvia's Place Festival palette, I am using that on a tiny little flat brush and applying that into the inner corners of my eye, as well as taking it on my ring finger and applying a little bit on the center of my eye. Again, this is just to create a little bit more dimension and to make my eyes pop and look brighter. Taking the bronzer from the e.l.f. face palette, I am going to be blending that onto my cheeks, and I like to start from on top of the ear towards the corner of my mouth. Again, this is just a very nice bronzer. It's not too in your face, but I feel like it complements my skin tone very well. Very inexpensive and a really nice shade. I'm also going to be applying that on my forehead and around my temples. Don't forget the jawline if you have a double chin like me. And I also like taking it around the nose and right underneath it a little bit too to make it more rounded. Now taking the peach blush from the same face palette by e.l.f., I am taking that on a more dense face brush and applying that onto the apples of my cheeks and blending it back. I love blush, so I kind of go a little bit overboard, and that's okay. You guys can do it to your liking. I smashed my favorite Becca highlighter, so I'm sorry guys, but taking that on a highlighter brush from Real Techniques. By the way, the shade is called Opal. I'm applying that to the tops of my cheekbones, and I like to apply it right towards the outside of my outer V, towards the apples of my cheeks. I just feel like that's better for my face shape. I'm also going to be applying that on my nose bridge, tip of the nose, as well as the forehead right above the brow. And don't forget the chin as well. Now the clips got deleted, but I did this lip look with the NYX Liquid Suede Sandstorm and ColourPop's Tootsie. I mix the two together, and then I take the Kat Von D Lock It Concealer, the same one that we used on our face, and just applied that onto the lips and blended all three of those colors together to create this perfect nude shade, because I don't own a shade like this for some reason. Then I'm taking the Makeup Forever Professional Cream Palette and taking the black. You can use any black face paint, by the way. This is going to be starting the spider part of the video. I'm doing a half moon shape right towards the corner of my mouth and filling it all in. It doesn't have to be perfect, don't worry. And we are going to be starting the lines. I started it from the top of my lip going downwards towards the little half moon shape we did, and just make it as thick as thin as you want. I kind of made it a little bit thicker, and then we're starting the little claws or the little feet of the spider and just thin it out towards you start getting to the claws. It's a lot easier than it looks, I promise you. I tried to get it as perfect as possible, and even then my hand was shaking, so don't even stress it. You can definitely fix this and it can still look pretty perfect. So I started adding a little bit of texture to it. So I just kind of made little dots around the legs, if you want to call it. And yeah, just made it look a little bit fluffier. Again, just thinning it out as you get to the claws. And just repeat the same process for the other legs. I think I did a total of 5. I was referencing a picture by Ashley Solida, which is an incredible makeup artist. I will put her at right here so you guys can go check her out, as well as the photo of reference that I was looking at. And yeah, she is just incredible, and I saw this and I immediately knew I had to do a tutorial on it because I fell in love. Taking the same black eyeshadow with a very light hand, I'm going to start creating the shadows. So I started from the tip of the claw down towards the, I think, how do I explain this? The edge of the line, right where the circle meets the line, I guess you can say. And just gradually getting lighter as you go down the line. So you want to concentrate most of that darkness right at the tip of the claw and then get as light as possible towards the end of the leg. And I know it looks weird now, but once you start adding more dimension to this, it's definitely going to look a lot more realistic. Now, taking some white from the same cream palette by Makeup Forever, I am going to be adding more depth by adding some highlights onto the fur of the spider. And again, I'm applying this very messily, as you can see. It's not perfect whatsoever. You guys can take as much time as you want on this, but this is what it looked like for me, and I spent around like 5 minutes or so. Taking this too expensive spider thing from Hobby Lobby, I went ahead and glued the little claws down and pasted it onto my chest. And then I took some Ben Nye scab blood on a dotting tool and just placed 2 little dots where they're little... I wish I knew spider anatomy, but I don't. But I'm just gonna call it its mouth. Its little, you know, those little things that bite you. Yeah, just put 2 little holes. Taking the white paint once again, applying it onto the fake spider just to make it look a little bit more continuous. Then I created a tattered spider web, and I didn't want to make it tattered, but I was on a time crunch and the camera was about to die. But pretty much I followed the general shape for a spider web and just kind of squiggled the lines everywhere. I wish I could have a better way of telling you exactly what I did, but I don't know what I was doing in the process. Yeah, so this is kind of what it looked like at the end. I took a dark gray by mixing some of the black with the white, and I just added a little bit more dimension to the web. Again, you can make this look as flawless as you want or follow a specific type of shape, but this is kind of what I unfortunately had to settle down to. So hopefully you guys don't kill me on this, but yeah, I just really wanted to incorporate a spider web because I felt like that side of my face was definitely missing something. So that's the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big fat thumbs up, comment down below what you want to see next, and of course subscribe for more videos. There will be a lot more Halloween tutorials to come, so let me know what you guys want to see. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I love you all very, very much. Mwah.